Hey, welcome back to our episode of FSi DFS Fantasy Baseball Picks. I'm your Smegro 31. We are climbing that hill. We are getting so close to having 5,000 subs. So thank you so much if you've already subscribed to our channel. We are currently sitting at 4,973, so we only need 27 more. And we've been offering a promotion. So if you already have subbed and you're one of the 4,973, then just take a screenshot of that you have subbed and email it to promos at FSi DFS, and we'll send you a coupon within 24 hours for a free week of VIP. If you're a new sub, then take advantage of it, sub, and you can get in the action. We got some exciting things coming up, especially with Euros for soccer and Copa America. A ton of soccer coming up over next week, so great time to do that. Charlie's going to have videos for those. We got a NASCAR this weekend. We got the PJ Masters. We got so much going on. So look forward to having you come and join us for all those activities. So I apologize yesterday. I misread the schedule with McKinley. I was supposed to do the video. I didn't. So I'll do a quick double video for you today. So early slate, there's 4 games here. We have Atlanta Braves and Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore, 86 degrees, wind blowing out 9 miles per hour. Should be decent hitting weather. Two decent pitchers, Lopez and Irvin, which should be two decent offenses, although the Braves have been kind of quiet recently. Um, Either McKinley or Matt Noah in our baseball chat posted the other day that the Braves, since April 24th, have scored the least runs in Major League Baseball, which is kind of incredible if you think about the lineup they have. Yeah, they lost Acuna and had some other injuries and stuff, but it's just kind of crazy. So in this game, I think both pitchers are in play. Actually, Irvin, I might have like a little bit of a lower ownership here because they think he's facing the mighty Braves, but they haven't been that mighty, so he could be a sneaky play there. And bat wise, I think both teams are good GPP stacks. Washington, Detroit, this game was lit last night. They put up so many runs, and it was just a fun game to watch. And like base running errors and throwing errors, and it was just crazy. So Corbin and Mies here, both pitchers have had good games, have had bad games. Both offenses have had good games, have had bad games. I'd probably put Corbin in the feed just because Detroit has some decent power from the right-handed side of the plate. But I think at a small slate like this, you got to consider him if you're a mass multi-entering. Even at 20 max, I'd have a little bit of exposure just in case. And Mies, I think, would be very popular for the cheap SP2 here. So, bat wise, Washington makes a great leverage stack. I think Detroit makes a great top stack. They have almost a 5 total here. Again, like with the power that they have, Corbin has struggled. 86 degrees there, wind blowing across the field. So it should be decent hitting conditions there also. Yankees and Royals, another game with a lot of run scoring, mostly on the Yankee side, but the Royals did put up some. Cortez and March. Cortez will be the top pitcher on the slate ownership wise. And I mean, in cash, you probably don't want to overthink it. In GPP, yes, he's given up multiple times, 3 to 4 runs during the course of the season. So, is there some potential for the Royals to score against them? Yes. Alex March on the other side has actually gotten like 6 or 7 strikeouts, and Yankees aren't really a high strikeout team. They're 24%. Actually, they if you watch the video the other day, I explained it. They're on the screen there at 24%. But that's when Soto was out. When Soto's back on the lineup, he really lengthens it and puts more protection in there. And it should knock him down into the bottom 10 again because he's a very patient hitter. So Gleyber Torres had a home run. Rizzo got benched, and hopefully he'll start to heat up a little bit. And the Martin actually got Dominguez came off the IL and is in AAA Scranton, and maybe he'll get called up also. But I mean, outfield has just been jammed with Verdugo, Judge, Soto, Stanton. I mean, so I don't know if he'll get a chance to play with just how well they've been doing. But anyways, Cortez, yes, is a SP1 and cash. Marsh, a decent GPP pitcher because it's a small slate, and if maybe he can get to the strikeouts and keep things the Yankees at bay. And you have to see it is a getaway day here. Usually, it's the Thursday is a day off for some teams, so you might see some of the stars getting rest. So if it's a weaker Yankee lineup, then that makes Marsh even more appealing. So Yankees bats, obviously the top one on the slate here. In KC, I think definitely make a good leverage stack, especially against Cortez, who's probably going to have the highest ownership on the slate. Pittsburgh and St. Louis, Keller and Lynn. Again, both pitchers are good here. Probably favor Lynn. Probably going to be if Cortez and Lynn in a lot of builds, if people aren't dropping down to like play Mies. But if you're trying to get like the Yankees' expensive bats in, it's going to be hard not to play Lynn, but I mean, you can make it work if you're just picking like Judge or Soto and just hope you pick the correct one there. Keller on the other side, like St. Louis has been up and down. They've been more patient. They haven't been striking out as much. It's down to about 20% K rate. They have been putting up some runs recently. So, and it's 93 degrees here and the wind's blowing out at 8 miles per hour. So that does definitely help hitting. So, bat wise, I think Pittsburgh will leverage stack against Lynn with the ownership, and St. Louis is probably my favorite cheap stack to fill in your lineup. So let's look at the build here, and then we'll get onto the main slate. So give me Cortez, and then I'll let you choose if you're going to take Lance Lynn or Mies as your SP2. I mean, again, Lopez and Irvin, if you have the money, are definitely in play. But I'm going with heavy Detroit presence with filling in with Volt, Pace, Soto, and Judge from the Yankees. So that's how I'm going to build that. And the other positions will probably be based on if you drop down to Muse for your or Corbin for your SP2, or if you try to get in the mid range with either Lynn or Irvin. For GPP, give me Lynn, and I'll probably pair him with Cole Irvin here. And then I'm gonna go contrarian. I've maybe Cortez does struggle in KC in this good hitting conditions in 91 degrees with wind blowing out, does put up some runs. They've got some power from the right-handed side, and Witt and Garcia and Salvador Perez and Velasquez. So I'm going to stack up Kansas City, and I am going to fill in with Washington Nationals for that. So that's where we're going for there. So for now, let's switch over to the main slate. They are dropping the 650 game, so the slate will start at 7:10, which is nice. It gives you a little bit more time to get your lineups in, especially if you're trying to get off work and stuff. So first game, Miami and the Mets. Rodney Munoz and Luis Severino. Munoz, like he came out and had a first really good game. Then he came back to the earth in the second game. So who knows where he's going to go here? But he's in a hitter's park, but it's 79 degrees with wind blowing out. So that should not necessarily neutralize the hitting or the pitcher's park factor. Sorry if I said hitting park. He's in a pitcher's park. New York Mets Park is a pitching friendly park that will neutralize it a little bit, but I still don't think it's enough to make me want to play Munoz. The Mets have been putting up runs. They're starting to heat up and put things together. I think you take anybody here, righty, lefty, and build a really nice stack. Sereno on the other side, I like him in Castillo and Fedon. I think have better matchups, but Sereno is definitely in play here at 8K. Bat wise, Miami would just be probably a cheap to leverage stack, and the Mets are probably my third favorite stack on the slate. Philadelphia and Boston, another game that was pretty exciting back and forth last night. Here you have Aaron Nola and Tanner Houck. I think both of them are in play here. Like Philly kind of took a hit in their lineup, losing Real Muto to an injury with a meniscus. So Stubbs is playing catcher, which gives you a cheap catcher, but it just takes like a bat out of this offense and shortens it a little bit. It's already been shortened a little bit with Turner out, so I'm not saying that they're turning into the Atlanta Braves and won't put up runs. They should still be productive. Is heating up a little bit. He's had 2 home runs 2 days ago, and Harper keeps on hitting well, and Castellanos has moved up to the second in the lineup, and he actually hit pretty well last night. So I think you still got some bats here, but I think both pitchers are in play. I like Ryan and Crochet best uh, on the slate, but I think those two are definitely in play also for cash bills potentially and definitely in GPPs. Bat wise, I think they're your top two GPP stacks here because it is 79 degrees in Boston, winds blowing out 13 miles per hour. So this is a hitting park that should help hitting, and we could see some fireworks here. So, but then again, if the pitchers are on their game, you got to actually hit the ball to make it go out of the park. So if they're swinging and missing, then that's not going to help with the offense. So I think this is a great game to like stack and get pizzas and stuff, but it might be more GPP than like a solid floor for cash because it has upside and um, but I don't think it has so much floor. Oakland and the Twins, Luis Medina and Joe Ryan. Medina's had some great games. Medina's had some poor games. He's been all over the board. Who knows which one is going to show up? Minnesota's got their strike rate out of control, and they looked not great. Like they let us down. They laid a couple eggs against Colorado early in the series, then they put up like 17 run yesterday. So I don't understand like why Minnesota has to score a series worth of runs in one game. Like they couldn't spread it out, but that's what happened. So uh, I think it's another great matchup here today. It's 83 degrees there, so good hitting weather, wind blowing out. So yeah, I'm not playing Medina. Joe Ryan, I think, is going to be one of the top pitchers on the slate if you want to pay up for it, if you can find the salary. Um, and I think I prefer Castillo better. I think the probably have the same amount of DK points, but there's a huge discount of I think like 1,500 on Castillo. Like Ryan's been a little bit out of form recently, so, but I don't think you can go wrong with Ryan at all in your cash games. Oakland is obviously against one of the top pitchers on the slate, is just going to be a leverage stack, and then Minnesota continues to be a great option as a cheap stack as a primary or fill in. Besides, Royce Lewis is up to 6K and he deserves it. He has just been red hot since he came off the disabled list, and it was just so sad that he went down because he's just an amazing player. The same thing we thought about Buxton, but hopefully Lewis can stay healthier than Buxton. There's a lot of young talent on this team. If they put things together, they could really do some damage going forward. They're not quite to the level of like the Braves and the Orioles putting things together, but they could be there in a couple of years if they continue down this path. Everybody stays healthy and they add maybe a couple more pieces to it. So like we love Larnish leading off at 4K. He's got the split advantage. Kepler, he's got the split advantage at 4-4. Like there's some decent um, cheap price if wraparound stacker play Kirilloff at outfield or first base. There's lots of cheap options there. White Sox and Mariners, Crochet and Castillo pitching matchup here. It only has a 6.5 total for the whole game. White Sox totals 2.8 and Seattle's is 3.7. Either one of these are in play. Take your pick. Seattle has like one of the highest strikeout rates in Major League Baseball. And the White Sox haven't been great either. So I think both pitchers are in play here. Sorry, I thought Castillo was eight even he's 8.5, so it's still a discount off of Crochet and off of Ryan by almost like 900 or $1,000, which I really like. So you can play those two top ones. So you can play both of them. You can use Castillo as SG too, and just there's lots of cheap bats like build a Minnesota stack and put in some expensive bats as your one-offs. There's lots of ways to go here. Not touching bats from this game unless you're 150 max and doing hoping one of these pitchers has an off night and trying to take down a GPP with either a White Sox or Seattle stack. So I'd play him in less than probably 5% and 150 max for that. Angels and Diamondbacks. Angels put up some runs last night, but Fadot's a much better pitcher than that they had going last night. Cannon started off the season like he's had some like 20 DK point games and he's had some like negative DK point games. So it's just which one shows up. Arizona's been better against left-handed pitching, right-handed pitching, so he has that in his favor. But I think in GPPs you can punt and play Cannon at 5K and hope that he has like a 15-point game. And in Arizona, like he only like maybe Carroll and Peterson does damage, but he keeps the righties in check. Sadat on the other side here, like he started off the season with kind of a World Series hangover, but he's really starting to put it together. Yes, the Angels have some pop and they're like the little engine that could. They're like just like they had so many injuries decimate this team that they lost all these players, but they've still been working together and having team meetings and trying to figure things out. I think Ron Washington's a great coach for them and I play them every single day on the slate, but I think they're more of a GPP here than a cash fill in. I prefer probably Minnesota for that, and then like Miami and Angels if you have to. Arizona is my second favorite uh stack on the slate here against Cannon. I like Carroll, Marte, Peterson, you've great there, and then um, you know, McCarthy, a lefty there. Like you can definitely make it work here. If I can't get up to the Dodgers and I want to pay up for pitching, then I'll probably go with Arizona as my primary stack. Texas and the Dodgers, Michael Lorenzen, and I've seen Grove, I've seen an opener in Yarborough, so I'm just out on all the different combinations for LA Dodger pitchers. tonight. And Lorenzen on the other side has had some okay games, so he's facing the Dodgers. I just can't do that here. So Texas, and Seager should be back in the lineup. Smith low. I'd probably stick to the lefties here, like probably a mini stack. Maybe Traveris as a wraparound. So, but more of a GPP. And Dodgers, obviously, usually probably the top stack on slate, almost have a five total, have the highest implied total against Texas. And but the Texans had a decent bullpen, like they're fourth best. So, if they get to Lorenzen and they start to bring in the bullpen, doesn't necessarily mean that the Dodgers are going to continue to tee off on them. So, the usual suspects: Betts, Otani, Freeman, Lux has been hitting sixth and is second base eligible, which is kind of sometimes a hard position to fill at that 3.1K. So I don't mind that. Hayward at 3K, and they picked up Biggio off of the waiver wire. So he's been joining them also, but he's not on DK yet. So we got there, and let's look at the builds, and I'll get you on your way for your day. So I'm going to take Castillo and Fadat in cash games. And again, I said if you want to take like cheaper bats and you want to take Crochet or Ryan and Castillo as your SP2, I'm fine with that too. There's a lot of ways to go with your cash builds for pitchers. But again, I like Arizona here. I don't think I go up to the Dodgers in the cash. So Marte, Carroll, and Jack Peterson, the lefties or switch hitters is what I'm going to take. And then give me Lindor and Nemo. And it's hard to do a full stack of the Arizona and of the Mets just because first base is so expensive between Alonso and Walker. So basically, I'm going to probably take a one off there, and then I'll still try to get like catcher and third base in the stack with either the Mets or Arizona. For GPP, give me Severino. I might take Griffin Canning in the GPP just to open up some salary for me as my SP2, and then I'm going Minnesota and the Dodgers. So your SP2 is going to be predicated on who you go with catchers. If you go all the way up to Smith, if you take if he's back in because he hasn't played in a couple of days, not for injury, just because of matchup. Jeffers at catcher, or if you just a punt there, that's going to depend on how much you have left for your SP2 there. Kriloff, Lux, Lewis, that's if you're paying down SP2. If you want a little bit more money, you can go Korea there. Otani, Larnish, and then there's a lot of great choices from Minnesota or even Haywood at 3K to throw in there for your GPP. So I got for you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me up at MegaRiver31 at Twitter/X. I love interaction with you, answering questions, doing what I can to help you out here. That's why I'm here. Yes, we do run a business and do consulting for FSi, but we also, you know, want to help DFS players learn how to play the game, play responsibly, and be able to stay in the game and not just, put a couple $100 in and lose every single night and be done with it. We want to be sure to help you continue to learn how to play, become better players, and continue to uh, enjoy it. It makes the games fun. So, with that, also, if you want more information on FSi DFS, you can go to the description of the video, and you can the link to our website is there, and you can look at all our pricing. It's pretty cheap. For as low as $6 a day, you can get all our sports for our VIP passes. So, not a bad deal at all. And if these videos help you, help us back, like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Help us get up to that 5K and share with your friends. So, thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. I'll see you next time.